Hi, I'm Lauren Karasek. Thanks for joining us for the first in a multi-part series on how to use Twitter for corporate and issue-based clients. This first screencast is going to talk to you a little bit about how to read things on Twitter. So without further ado, let's jump right to it. This is my homepage for my personal Twitter account, and as you can see, I'm running what's called New Twitter. This is a new platform that's being rolled out over the next few months, so if your homepage doesn't look like this yet, don't worry, it soon will. Over here on the right, you can see the list of the 56 people that I'm following, and if we click on that, we can see them in more detail. But more interesting, over here on the left is the timeline. And what you're going to see is real-time information from each of those 56 people, what they're saying, going from most recently, this is 43 minutes ago from my alma mater, UC Berkeley, moving down, this is an hour ago, 2 hours ago, like I said, updating in real time with the most recent on top. This is the way that I can read most recently what's going on with everyone that I've designated that I care about by following them. But what if I want to get more specific? A lot of people add people to follow in hopes that they'll follow them back. This is something we're actually going to address later in our series on increasing your influence and increasing your followers. That's a time when you might want to make a list of all of the people that you're personally interested in. As I do here, this is my personal list called Personal. Or you could group them by topic. Here's one by the Washington Post on food trucks that I personally follow. So yes, you can follow other people's lists if they're public. What the Washington Post has done is grouped all of the food trucks here in the District of Columbia together, so if I wanted to know what I could eat from a food truck for lunch one day, which I quite often want to know, I'm a big fan of food trucks here in DC, I can just go to the Washington Post list and read everything that all of the food trucks are saying, what they're offering that day, where they're located, and that way I can find them and have my delicious lunch. But what about the tweets themselves? A lot of times people tell me it looks like they're reading a foreign language. There are pound signs everywhere, there are @ signs. What does this mean? Well, let's start with the @ signs. An @ reply, or an @ mention, is your way of saying, I'm saying this to someone or calling someone out. It's a way to have a conversation back and forth in public on Twitter, or, as is the case here, we're going to look at Gail Simmons right here. She's the host of Bravo TV's Top Chef. She is saying that Food and Wine magazine, that's this @ FNW here, is hosting an all-star weekend in Las Vegas and telling you where you can buy the tickets. So if we click on FNW, we can get more information about Food and Wine magazine. We see their own personal Twitter feed. We can follow them ourselves if we want instead of getting information about them through Gail. We can see what they've said most recently. They can take us to their website. So an @ reply is a great way to direct people to more information about the topic that you're talking about or the origin of the topic you're talking about. Another way to use @ replies that's very similar is what we call a retweet. So here's an example from my friend Katie. You can see the @ reply here, @Cal, except for she's placed an RT in front of it. That designates that everything that comes after is just a direct representation of what Cal said originally. And we can see that that's true because I also follow Cal, which is right here. So this is their original tweet, and then this is Katie retweeting their original tweet with her own personal commentary that she wants to print it. So what is she talking about? Print what? We can see that there's a link here, a TwitPic, and if we push this little button, we can see the actual picture. This is part of the new Twitter feed. They've integrated the multimedia. So if you post a video, if you post a picture, you can see it over here on the right side of your screen. So she's saying that she wants to print this picture that Cal originally mentioned. What about hashtags? So Cal is talking about its plans for its new athletic program, and they've labeled it Pound Athletics. This is a great way to follow one particular topic. If I click on it, I see everything that has been labeled with Pound Athletics. If I want to get things that were labeled even without the pound sign, I could put it into the search up here. That's going to bring back similar results because it'll bring back the hashtags, but it will also bring back anything without a hashtag in it that says athletics. Now if it gets popular enough, and this is our last note for how to read on Twitter, over here in the trending topics it'll show up. So as I mentioned, new Twitter's just rolling out. One of the most popular topics on Twitter right now is to talk about it.